Welcome, everyone. ZASLOW Show 2.0. It is a Friday, the 11th of November. Good to have you aboard. I love Friday. We are here. We made it to the end of the week. That's what I'm talking about. So you're with us here, listening however you are. Spotify, iTunes. I can go on and on, all right? I can't list every podcast platform. I'll be here all day. However you're listening to us, we appreciate that. As we will conclude our second week of ZASLOW Show 2.0. Appreciate everybody who's building. You're going to remember, we're going to get to the future. We're going to be years and years down the road. I'm going to be an old man. I'm not going to have this beautiful put-em anymore. I'm going to look very old. And you're going to say, ZASLOW, I was there with you at the start, all right? Late 2022, the year of our Lord, ZASLOW Show 2.0. I was there right from the beginning, just like Anidjar and Levine, accident attorneys, title sponsor of ZASLOW Show 2.0. They're going to look back many, many moons from now and say, I remember ZASLOW, he wanted me on board. We decided we needed to partner with him, and it's a beautiful relationship. It's a beautiful friendship. Anidjar and Levine, accident attorneys, you deal with any kind of personal injury, whatever accident you're involved with, that's who I send you to. 800-747-FREE 3733. We got a lot going on here today. Like I said, thrilled to have you aboard here as we conclude week number 2 of ZASLOW Show 2.0. We're going to do fantasy football today. I told you, normally for ZASLOW Show, for years now, Jamie Eisenberg, CBS Sports Fantasy Football, he joins us every Thursday. Now he joins us Fridays. So he makes his debut/return to ZASLOW Show 2.0 today. So we're going to get Jamie on board. We get him on Zoom. All right, that's how we do it here at ZASLOW Show 2.0. I will say, my man Pino reached out to me. You can hit me up, ZASLOWJ on Instagram. I'm an influencer, but I still got time for everybody. It's funny, like some people are really thrilled. They get the comments, get the messages, and, be it on the YouTube page, youtube.com/@ZASLOW Show, or if it's Twitter, you send me messages, and I'm getting back to everybody. And it was a little bit hard at first. When I was first let go from the radio station, I had a hard time keeping up with everything. It was so much. But I tried to get back to as many people as possible. Now, though, I'm still getting really nice messages, and people like, thanks so much for writing back. And I'm like, I'm thinking to myself, this is literally the least I could do, is write back to someone who, A, is a listener of the show, so I love you long time, but also is taking the time out of their day, out of their life to say something, to reach out to me. So, my God, stop thanking me for writing you guys back. Like, I'm thanking you for writing and listening. It is literally the least I can do, is just to interact with all you guys. I love you, all right? You know that. Yeah, everybody knows that. So I was in, my guy Pino on Instagram was like, yo, because this is the first week that we've started to incorporate the interview. I'm getting my regular cast of characters back on the show. We had Amber Wilson. I love her. She was on the show earlier this week. Ruthie Polinsky, who's been a regular on the show for a couple years. My man Dave Williamson yesterday. If you want to watch the interviews, youtube.com/@ZASLOW Show. Go check it out. But of course, it's on the podcast as well. And my man Pino is, he said, yo, the interviews have been great. You're killing them. And I'm, I wrote back. I said, what I'm learning is it's so much easier conducting an interview, having a conversation. It's not so much an interview. These people are my friends, who I just mentioned to you. I'm having a conversation with them. It's so much easier having a conversation with people when you can see them. So we're doing the Zooms, for our, guest spots now. And yeah, it really is so much easier to talk to people when you can see them. So anyway, hope everyone's enjoying having our friends back on the program, and we'll continue doing that. All right, so I'm getting the hang. Got a whole team working on ZASLOW Show 2.0 now, and we're all figuring out how to put all the pieces together. It's like a puzzle, all right, and we're almost there. So things are going pretty all right so far. Okay, so like I said, you can hit me up, ZASLOWJ on Instagram. I'm an influencer, but I still have time for everybody. You know that. And at ZASLOW Show, of course, on Twitter. If you haven't subscribe, like, comment, rate, all that good stuff on all the platforms. The podcast, wherever you're listening to us. and of course on the YouTube channel, youtube.com/@ZASLOW Show. A lot of people have been giving me advice, all right, and we'll get to a place where we're doing the show live, all right? We will. We'll get to a place where we're doing the show live. So we'll, just got to get more and more comfortable. That's really all there is to it, but we'll get there. We'll get to that place. All right, by the way, if you're watching this on the youtube.com/@ZASLOW Show right now, the YouTube channel, what's up? Tell your mother I say hello. You'll notice right now, I'm sweating my balls off. Just sweating my balls off. So in the middle of the night, well, it wasn't really the middle of the night. It was like around 11:30 last night. I went to sleep kind of early last night. I was tired. And, took some CBD. And so I was tired. And you know that feel you're in, it's almost like a feeling, it's like a euphoric feeling, that feeling where you're about to fall asleep. Like you're almost there. I was in that, you know what I'm talking about, that in-between stage of being awake and fully falling asleep. It's like a euphoric feeling. And I was in that feeling, all right? And I get woken up. I hear like dripping, which is one of the worst sounds you could hear in the middle of the night, right? Dripping is such a bad sound. Like maybe it's just something annoying, like it's the shower, but it could also be something really bad, And the worst sound you could wake up to is the smoke detector battery. Everybody knows that. That's the worst. But dripping in the middle of that, that's a pretty bad sound too. And it's the AC. I get up, I go right to the, I looked at a couple places, I'm like, oh shit, is it going to be the AC? And so I go to and the AC is still running, but I open up, oh man, you got like a puddle in the, the tray that catches the water. The sensor hasn't gone off yet because it hasn't quite reached the sensor yet, but man, I got a big puddle there. So I shut off the AC. I don't want it to be a thing, and I got my guy Kai coming over today, all right? He's going to take care of me. But I shut off the AC last night. Upstairs is cool enough that we'll sleep just fine. But eventually it's going to get to a place where it's going to get a little bit warm, all right? Well, that place is now. I'm sweating my balls off. So if you could see me right now, yeah, I'm a little bit hot. I'm developing, I got the sweat right here underneath my nose, and my balls are sticking to my thighs. So that's what we got going on this morning. That's a fun visual for everybody involved. You're welcome. I did see Black Panther yesterday. Oh my God. We'll get to that. All right. But we got to start with the Heat. All right. We got to start with the Heat because the Heat win last night. They snap a 2-game skid. They are now 5-7. Jimmy Butler, 35 points, 10 rebounds, 8 assists, 13 of 15 from the free throw line. The Heat hang on by the hair on their chinny chin chin. All right. They win by 5 whole points against the Charlotte Hornets. That Hornet team sucks. They were without LaMelo Ball. They were without Gordon Hayward. That team's not good. They're not even that good with those guys. But that's a very short-handed Hornet team. I'm glad the Heat won. I know the coach, obviously. I know the coach said after the game, we needed that to get us going in the right direction. All right, but that's not the type of game I'm sitting here and I'm impressed. That's not the game where I'm sitting here and I'm feeling good. Winning's better than losing. That's how I look at winning that game last night. That game does not make me feel good. That game makes me say to myself, all right, winning that game is better than losing that game. Because you got to blow that team out. Sometimes I don't recognize this Heat team that I'm seeing out there. There are times they just look so average out there. And defensively, they're not good. They gave up 49% shooting to that Hornet team. They got killed in the fourth quarter again. It was only a few days ago they were outscored. I think it was 30-15 in the fourth quarter. Last night at one point it was 26-8. I think we're down by 6. We're up by 12 going into the fourth quarter. We're down by 6. Being outscored 26-8 by the Kelly Oubre-led Charlotte Hornets. That is, excuse me, it takes a sip of my coffee. That is not the kind of game that you're feeling good about the Heat. I understand there was no Tyler Hero. We'll get to that in a second. But, survive, put it in the win column. They play them again on Saturday night, 8 p.m. Saturday night, for the soon-to-be-named ZASLOW Show, from the soon-to-be-named ZASLOW Show 2.0 arena in downtown Miami. I told you crypto's not real. It's not real. Soon to be named ZASLOW Show 2.0 arena. And I'd like to see them do what you're supposed to do against the Hornets there and actually beat them up. That's not a good team. And the Heat, who played fine through 3 quarters, did not play well in the 4th quarter, couldn't get any stops. And the reality of it is the Hornets, they kind of self-imploded there, especially in overtime. So Jimmy leads the way with 35. He was awesome. But the crucial moments in the game, 4th quarter, tight game, what was it? The Heat were... First of all, 4th quarter tight game. I'm filling up some vitamin water right now. I tell you, I'm sweating my balls off. All right, no AC right now. I got the AC going downstairs, but upstairs here, ZASLOW Mansion, up here in the master bedroom, sweat my balls off. So anyway, late in the game, it's tied. 4th quarter, tied with 26 seconds remaining, and Jimmy Butler gets whistled for an offensive foul. That was a garbage call. Maybe in the middle of the game you make that call. And I'm not trying to do the whole thing where it's middle of the game versus end of the game, foul's a foul. Excuse me. That's not what I'm trying to do. But there wasn't a lot there. I mean, Jimmy barely dipped down the shoulder. It was within his offensive move. There was not a whole lot there. And calling that at the end of the... Jimmy was stunned. And Jimmy never complains. Jimmy started walking to the free throw line, and then he turns around. He's like, foul? He thought he was going to the free throw line. So you get a real, that was with 26 seconds left, something like that. And you get a great defensive possession right after that from Caleb Martin as he was D'ing up Terry Rozier, who could not get a good shot off, and he misses the 3. That forces overtime. And then you have the crucial moment in overtime where the Heat are up by 113, 112. Hornets have the ball. They're going to have a chance to win it. There's about 13 seconds remaining. They inbound the ball to Kelly Oubre, and Oubre gets called for traveling. Total amateur hour play from Kelly Oubre. And I'm glad the officials called it. It's one of those, there's travel all the time in the NBA. That's the kind of traveling that I can't stand. You know what I'm talking about, right? Where, you catch the ball and you move this foot, and then you move the pivot foot, and then you move the pivot foot again, and then you move this. So it's like, we learned that stuff in elementary school. That's an elementary school travel that Kelly Oubre exhibited there. I'm glad the official called it. That is so amateur. So Oubre gives the ball up. The Heat make a couple free throws, and then Terry Rozier is forced into he wasn't forced, he was trying to draw the foul. Excuse me. Wow. Kelly Oubre travels. Then you get Terry Rozier, who thought he was going to draw a foul on Jimmy Butler. He doesn't get the call. 3-pointer goes off the side of the backboard. Heat make a couple free throws. Boom. Game over. There you have it. But here's my big take. Oh, and by the way, overtime in the NBA, they're never going to because it's been like this forever. I wish they would change overtime in the NBA. 5 minutes is way too long. It is. It's too long. I mean, let's say you got a game that's tied with a minute left. Game now goes to overtime. Scoreless goes to overtime. We're going to put 5 more minutes on the clock. It is way too long overtime. A game goes to overtime. Put 2 minutes back up there. Let's keep it going. 5 minutes? And, hey, this is coming from someone, remember I used to do mornings. No one in the history, because station doesn't exist anymore, no one in the history of 790 The Ticket hosted mornings longer than your boy right here. No one. That'll stand forever. You know what? Because 790 The Ticket doesn't exist anymore. Nobody hosted mornings longer than me. And I would do the Heat games, and the game goes to overtime the night before. We got 5 more minutes. It equals 25 minutes of real time. What a killer. Then I got the 4 a.m. wake up the next day. Terrible, all right? That's why I was starting to look old since I stopped doing mornings. Now I got the Benjamin Buttons thing going on where I'm old and now I'm looking young. But anyway, 5 minutes, way too long. Way too long. That's just me. They're never going to change it. But here's my big takeaway from last night. And Tyler Hero missed his second consecutive game, hoping he's going to wind up being back to tomorrow night against Charlotte. That's right, it's Charlotte, 2 straight. They're not coming back here. So if you were saying, if you're one of those, you're one of those NBA fans, you're saying to your Dad, the Hornets, I got to see the Hornets. I want to watch Kelly Oubre Jr. This is your only chance to go. They're only making one trip, 2 games, but they're only making one trip. Got to get out there to the soon-to-be ZASLOW Show 2.0 Arena, Heat and Hornets tomorrow night. Here's my big takeaway from last night. Not that the Heat needed all that, needed 5 extra minutes to beat the Charlotte Hornets, which I think is pathetic. That's not a win you feel good about. You feel good that you won because winning's better than losing. Big takeaway from last night. 4th quarter, tight game. It always has to be Jimmy. And you know that. Maybe you forgot because so far this season, Tyler Hero takes the most shots on the team. 4th quarter, tight game. It always has to be Jimmy. Tyler can be the first option throughout the game. Tyler is one of the best offensive players in the NBA. And I'm definitely not doing hashtag better without Tyler. No, garbage, nonsense. Tyler could be the first option through the first 3 quarters. And he'll still be a really good option in the 4th. We know Tyler's money, in the 4th quarter. Great 4th quarter player, big time player. But the offense needs to go through Jimmy. Late and close. It has to be Jimmy. Just able to draw the fouls. He's money late in games. He's able to get to the basket. Let him draw the attention off of Tyler. And then Tyler gets open shots. Late game, close game, it always has to be Jimmy. That was my big takeaway from last night's game. All right. So the Heat, like I said, back at it tomorrow. And they'll look for back-to-back wins. It's happened before. So try and go back-to-back there. You got Charlotte again. And we were also paying attention last night. Thursday Night Football. I already told you where I stand with Thursday Night Football. Was that game good last night? Now, Big TV, ZASLOW Mansion, family room, we got the Heat. You know that. Small TV, we got Thursday Night Football. Okay? You got Falcons, Panthers. That was not a very good game. Panthers win last night 25-15. Marcus Mariota made one of the worst throws you're ever going to see. A throw that ended up not counting because he was down, but the way he fell down, he flipped it over his head and he threw it like 15 yards down the field, and his interception, that's amateur hour. That's a terrible quarterback. Not a good game. But like I said yesterday, I don't get the complaining about Thursday Night Football. Oh, it's a terrible game. This game sucks. They shouldn't play Thursday nights. If it's not my team, I don't want my team playing Thursday nights, but if it's not my team playing Thursday night, I love a Thursday Night Football game. I'd rather have Thursday Night Football than not have Thursday Night Football, because here's the alternative. You can either have no game on Thursday night, and instead Falcons play the Panthers Sunday afternoon. The game is hidden away. You're not going to watch it because either A, you're watching a better game, or B, you're watching the Dolphin game at 1 o'clock. And that's just one of the other games, Falcons and Panthers. So you can either not have Thursday night game, and Falcons and Panthers, not a good game, but it's hidden away. You're never going to see it on Sunday afternoon. Or you could take a shit game like Falcons Panthers on Sunday afternoon, put it on Thursday night. Want to watch it? Cool. Don't want to watch it? Cool. I don't get the complaining about Thursday Night Football being bad. Either watch it or don't. But that game otherwise would just be hidden on Sunday afternoon. You wouldn't see it anyway. Now you can watch it if you want. So you're never going to hear me complain about Thursday Night Football. I don't want my team playing Thursday Night Football, and we already did. And, we know what happened with Tua. One of the worst nights of your life. If my team's not playing Thursday night, I'm into it. There's nothing to complain about there. So the Panthers get the win. They get their 3rd win of the season. Excuse me. And the Falcons, believe it or not, they dropped to 4-6, still in the division. But that division now, Tom Brady's going to wind up winning that division, even though that team's not any good. So anyway,